You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Survivor After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Survivor After Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to AfterBuzz TV. You are listening and watching to Survivor, the most amazing show on the planet.
Yes, sir.
I'm your host, Ryan Allen Carrillo, and I know I said I was leaving, but Jerry calls out sick. Justin's traveling the world. Who do I call to come in and be with me? The lovely, beautiful Kat.
Kat Edorsson, everybody, and I'm here to talk.
We're here to chat, we're here to get crazy, we're here to talk Survivor, and we're already drinking wine. So should we do like a little cheers?
Cheers.
Cheers. We hope you all are drinking at home. Oh my God, so what's up with you? You have a new hairdo.
I have a new hairdo.
Your hair grows so fast out of the island.
Doesn't it?
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
So what's new? So what's new in your life?
I just graduated with my
Congratulations.
marketing. Thank you. And I'm moving out to LA, just hanging out with some of my friends.
Los Angeles.
Yes, Los Angeles. Cali girl. Hey,
Cali
hair
girl.
flip.
Your hair's grown. You got the heels and the look. You're going to fit it in California just perfectly.
Thanks, babe.
Well, we want to welcome you.
Thank you.
So, Survivor, we're the top 5. We have Spencer, Tony, Trish, Wu, and Cass. So just by those 5, what are your thoughts on those 5 so far? Let's start with Spencer.
Spencer, I actually really do like Spencer just because he's like the golden boy.
Right.
And he's really coming into his own. And every single time we think he's going to go home, he actually stays.
People really like him or they don't. He has a lot of, I think people think he has a bad attitude or something.
You know, it looks like it's more of a I think I'm better than everybody type scenario. Not like Tony, but just more of I'm smarter than you. So it's either you're pro Tony or you're pro Spencer.
Right. So then Tony, what's the thoughts about Tony?
I love Tony.
Tony's your guy.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
I won't tell anybody. He doesn't annoy you, hasn't driven you crazy.
Or do
you think he's just playing the game?
I just think he's playing the game. I feel like everybody in this game right now has a role, and I think Tony just has that role of he's playing the game really, really hard, and Spencer's more like of a golden child, and Tony, I really like him. I think he's fantastic.
What do we think of psycho bitch Trish?
Oh, can you believe she said that?
I mean, we'll talk about that later.
Oh my God.
Your thoughts
keep it clean, ladies. Keep it clean. Please keep it clean.
Children are watching.
There's children that are watching, especially my fans. My fans are kids.
I know. Mine too. Scary.
Right.
No, Expedition were all little kids. I have Lego movies all over the
internet. Really? No, mine are literally like little girls.
Yeah.
So keep it clean.
Yeah, mine are little gay boys. So Trish.
Again, like I said, there's a rule for everybody in the game. And right now I would never say GOAT because, she's a really nice lady, I'm assuming.
Right.
But right now
But if she won,
she would be that GOAT. And sometimes there are people in Survivor that win.
Lots of goats have won.
There are lots of goats that have won. So again, there is a role.
Can you name any goats that have won?
I refuse to name
You are
goats.
way too good.
I'm just so sweet. I am a sweet child.
The reason why we have you on the show because you're real and you say what you mean. Stop hiding your emotions.
You tell me who you think is a goat. I know who are a few goats, but
Sophia.
I love you, girl.
I know. We do love you. I do like her too.
I love you.
But come on.
Come on.
Wu.
I'm on the Wu train.
He's another goat to me.
He is a goat, but he's such a sweet
goat.
Which
I never heard the goat before.
He always retweets me, and he's so nice, and he's always like, "Oh, Kat, you liked my tweet."
He is so surfer boy. I mean, he's probably really fun in person, but he's always like, "Hey, man, yeah, bro, the waves were huge."
Well, did you see him? Like, he was actually kind of thinking on his toes today. I was actually kind of
I'm glad he's playing when there's like 10 seconds left in the game.
There's 3 more days left in the game.
There's 1 more episode, for God's sake. Cass.
She's pretty. I love Chaos Cass. Like in her own way. I think out of those 3 with Cass and Spencer and Tony, one of those could win, and I'd be okay with it.
Right.
Cass is playing a totally different game. She's Chaos Cass, so she's getting the pot stirred all the time, and she's making chaos.
Right. I would say Cass, Tony, or Spencer. If any of them won,
we'd be okay.
Yeah, I'd be okay with it. And I've gone back and forth with Cass a few times. Well, cheers. We drink to those final threes.
Final threes.
Oh my goodness. Well. So the episode starts off, Spencer's final 3 deal with Wu and Cass sort of fell apart. And Wu sort of was just like, hey guys, this is a game. It's Survivor. And the one person who sort of really understands that is Cass. Like, Cass really doesn't hang on to when a vote doesn't really go her way. She does stir the pot, but she doesn't, like, get upset about it. She says it over and over again. Like, for instance, with Trish. She's like, why are you mad at me?
Right.
This is
like,
Survivor.
Right. Cass doesn't get connected. She's not emotionally involved. She's a lawyer. So she's kind of like, checkmate. I'm done. She, like, hair flips and, like, goes to the next side. She does not have an emotional connection to what damage that she does in the game.
Right.
So I guaranteed when the game is over, she'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. But as the game is going on, she's like, get it, bitch.
Well, most cast members, they absolutely despise each other, but at the end, you somehow pull it together. You apologize. It's a television show, and it sort of goes away. But sometimes it sticks
I know
in.
a lot of people that don't like some people on Survivor.
Your season kind of really got along with people. I've always said that One World people...
One World was probably the only season where every single one of us are so close, and we all still talk.
Colton?
I said, well, I don't think he wasn't really part of the tribe, was he? He quit.
Sure, but he was kind of your tribe.
Right. I don't want... Can we have to bring that man up? Let's not bring him up.
Listen, come on. This is live. People are tuning in for shenanigans. I could really go shenanigans. But, so Cass, the reason why she really wants to keep Tony around, because it's obvious to her that Tony has made so many enemies on the jury. But I don't think she realizes that she's sort of made a lot of enemies as well. She's not seeing her own faults there, too. But I don't know. How do you think the jury is judging Tony right now? I don't think they're really digging him as much as we are appreciating his gameplay. We have to remember, we're watching this on television, edited, and we're seeing all the behind the scenes. But, like, I don't know if they're seeing this magical Tony.
But think about when they're actually sitting there. Like, I'm telling you, like, a few days in Ponderosa, it goes away. Like, some people just don't hold on. If you got blindsided by Tony, after 7 days, you're like, all right, he played a really good game, like, so let it just go.
Right.
So I feel like that if Tony was in the end, as long as it's not with Spencer, I feel like Tony will win hands down. I mean, he collected those idols. They weren't handed to him. He actually went out and found them. He played the game. Right. And he wasn't malicious. He wasn't burning people's stuff. He wasn't throwing rice out.
Spencer has very little blood on his hands.
He has very little blood, but he's been playing a great game because he's always still in the game. Just when you think, like today, when we thought that Spencer was going to lose and Tony was going to get the immunity, he didn't.
Right. From day one, he's sort of been like on the bottom of things. I also thought that it was funny that Tony thinks that it's so funny that actually it was Spencer who said that he's playing with so many people who know so little about the game that he feels that it's so easy for him to mix things up. So that goes into your arrogance maybe a little bit there too. But also at this point in the game, Tony also mentioned that he is not confident that if he takes Wu, that Wu won't get votes. Like he actually thinks Wu's a threat. I think more so because they think that he has no enemies on the jury.
Right.
But I also think that the jury is not going to appreciate anyone who hasn't made any moves in this game at all.
I think Tony has absolutely lost his mind. I think Trish, Trish in his sense would be like the GOAT. Cass, people don't like Cass. She could be okay. And Wu would be fine too. Out of those three, he will definitely win because he made the most move, got the most idols.
So who would you take to final three? You just said
I would
it, right?
I would take Trish and Cass or Trish and Wu. Right. I would never take Tony or Spencer because they've made impacts on the game to change it.
And also, Tony, for whatever his faults are, he's very passionate. I feel like he's going to give a really, really great speech at the end.
He is, isn't he? He's a cop. Come on, baby.
He's going to play with his heart, and he can check off all these things. How many idols has he found?
Yep.
He's literally just turning them in at the end because he has to.
Preach.
Right. He's done a lot, spy shacks and all this sort of shenanigans.
Did you see him spying under the...
Yes, that's a whole nother tea.
Oh, he's crazy.
So we dive into the reward challenge and literally dive, talk about, a mud treatment. So basically, they dive into the mud, they cover their entire bodies with mud, they race over this little 2-bit fence, and then they get to these buckets and basically have to how do I even describe it? Just brush it off, skin it off, take off your skin of mud.
Right. They dive in, and the best scenario that you could have is if you have really long hair or you're a really big guy.
Yeah, you said that from the beginning. You said dip your hair in the mud.
Use your hair.
Because it all sort of sticks to it. And you should pile it up.
Yes, you should. There was actually there was one, I don't know which challenge it was, but there was a challenge where someone actually won using all of their hair. It was about 2 seasons ago, and they won because they used all of their hair.
Right.
So.
And so basically at the end, whoever collects collects the most mud wins the reward. And so it starts off, it's very messy. You know, it's not like a typical day at the spa. And also, we should also talk about the reward is pizza, which, whatever. Pizza delivered to your camp. I thought it was going to be like a Domino's commercial, but it really wasn't.
You know, at this point in the game, it was loved ones, by the way, just in case everyone was wondering.
Yeah.
This was the challenge where me and my cousin won on day 33, and we won the challenge, and they came out. So there was no loved ones on this season, which is interesting.
Why not? And obviously there wasn't last season either because it was the loved ones were already there.
I think there was too many tears from the season before that they were over the loved one thing, and they just...
I love the tear jerk moments.
I know.
I cry every time.
How amazing how much would you have loved to see Tony and his wife, like, or Spencer and his mom, or something like that?
It changes your opinion about them as a viewer, for sure,
even
sometimes.
If Cass is even married, if she even has that kind of a side, like, who doesn't want to see Cass' vulnerable side? We've seen her be like you know.
Right,
so,
she's the lawyer, straight face.
And what if she just breaks down and cries? Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Yeah, her son shows up, or whoever
Thanks,
she
CBS.
has. Her cat comes or whatever.
Right?
Who knows?
Little bag. Oh, dying.
Maybe it's budget cuts. I don't know.
Whatever.
Survivor's beating Idol in the ratings.
So the mud and the pizza, that's where we were.
Pizza, so yes. So basically, just, you know, it wasn't really that close of a competition. Tony, with no hair, you know, ended up winning.
He's a big boy.
He had it caked on his arms.
Yeah,
like,
he put it, stacked it on, and then walked like a mummy.
Yeah, he didn't really race through that too quickly. But, you know, he ended up winning. He got to take one other person with him. He picked Trish.
Oh, boy. What'd he say?
Oh, he said because she's starving?
No, because she's anorexic. It was all over Twitter. It was retarded. I mean, it was hashtag mud, hashtag anorexic was flooded with Twitter. It was trending. It was trending. Who trends anorexic?
I mean, a Survivor.
Clearly.
Well, because clearly she does need to eat.
Yeah, and that's the thing. On my first season with One World, I remember that we felt so bad because Chelsea, she missed out on 5 reward for food, and we just wanted to give it to her, like, yo, just throw her a scrap of bread because she was wasting away.
And you just have some people, I mean, everyone's sort of eating the same,
Humanity.
but some people, like their metabolism, they just lose it like crazy.
And that's another thing, too.
Kim Spradlin was another one who looked like she was dying at the end.
She was.
Like, she was like,
I love you, Kim.
She was one step away from the grave.
I love you, Kim. Yes, she was. Oh, God, she was so skinny.
And then there's some people who are just as fat at the beginning as they are at the end.
You know, I will say, but Tony looks like he has a 6-pack right now.
Yeah, he's kind of slimmed down.
And then I will say, here's another strategy, just in case everyone's wondering if you want to go and play Survivor. Blaming it because someone needs to eat is so much better than saying because she's my friend or because she's in my alliance. Like, oh, she needs to eat. Oh, here you go, little lamb. Like,
You're trying to get a little sympathy card there. But although Cass is not buying that at all.
Cass said,
She's not surprised that he picked Trish. She's been the closest ally the entire time, and so it just confirms how much they are connected, is what she was sort of saying.
Right.
So the helicopter delivers the pizza. And I'm sure Justin would be thrilled. I don't know if you know this, but Justin is obsessed with pizzas. In fact, the last time I was here, he ate 2 medium pizzas by himself, and that's just like big achievement. So Justin, enjoy your damn pizzas. So then Tony starts talking about his special idol. So explain the whole idol thing. I put a note for you to explain when you have to use it and all that other sort of thing.
Okay,
because
so
what he's trying to do to trick everybody.
Right. So in the rules of Survivor, you cannot take an idol to get you to Final 3. You have to win the competition in order to get to Final 3. So Tony puts up this plot and says, I have 2 idols, which he does.
Right.
And again, there's a different move I would have made for him if he was smarter to give to his alliance, but we'll get there in a little bit. But you cannot use an idol to get to Final 3. So he made the plot saying, I have a special idol that might be able to get me to Final 3, which is what he's pitching. Or that he's just basically just calling a bluff. Like, that's not real.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right. But it's a decent plan, actually.
No, it's fantastic. It's great strategy. That's why I'm telling you, every single person that's in the game right now is playing a role that is fantastic to win. You could pitch that. If you own it, you could pitch it.
And Tony has done that a couple of times. Remember, he did that before, that he said he had to share the clue with someone, with the guy that's always, never I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about. But that's
I almost slipped some tea.
That's the reason why, there are people that do not like Tony, but, that's why I appreciate his moves, because
he's making moves.
He knows
we love
the game.
people making moves.
He knows the game. Like, he's sneaking in the bushes and he's making up things that are not true. But I guarantee.
And going against his alliance. And I would say that this season there's been more blindsides than I've ever seen in my life.
And you're blind. It's not just blindsides to the tribe. You're blindsiding the viewers, which is what's so exciting and exhilarating. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, Trish is going home, or oh, Cass is going home, and that person is not going home, and it blindsides me.
He's completely out of control.
And I've played twice. Come on.
Yeah,
please.
come on now,
please.
So then Tony, and like, I'm still curious of what your thoughts are on this. Tony then pulls Cass aside and basically makes a final 3 deal with her on his family, on his daughter, on his whatever.
The daughter.
Do you think that, because, you know, they didn't really even get into the sincerity of that because it sort of blows up within 2 seconds. But before we get to the blow up, do you think he was really trying to make a final 3 deal with her, with Cass? Does he?
I think that he was, only because I think in the beginning of the episode he was talking about how he actually is going to blindside Wu, so he really was not thinking about taking Wu, which means his loyalty was to Cass because everyone doesn't like Cass, so that's what he was thinking. However, Cass is a lawyer and she's like, I'm not playing Tony's game. I'm going to call him out. So she does, and then Tony starts speaking in llama, and it's like, Jesus.
I mean, he lost his mind. So basically, he confronts Cass, and then Cass is like, this is my golden opportunity to blow up their tight 3 that they have and cause hashtag
Chaos Cass?
Chaos Cass. I almost said creating chaos. And so basically, she goes right up to Wu and says, Wu,
this is the tea.
This is the tea. I heard that this was going to happen. And Wu, of course, denies it. Like, no, I don't know what he's talking about. And Tony's standing right there.
But did you see how, like, and that's my heart breaks for Wu, because did you see how loyal he was there? Like, he was just like, I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about it. He was thinking to himself, but he's like, I'm not. He didn't stand up. That's why if Wu really wanted to make an impact on the game, he would have stood up and be like, what do you mean, Tony? That's what you told me.
Right.
Like, but he's so loyal because he's so afraid of where to go. You know, but then, you know, things
It's so
change.
funny because we don't ever really see what's in Wu's head because he never ever really talks strategy.
Exactly.
He's not like I'm partnered up with Tony because of this. He's never said why.
Which is why you're not on the Wu train. I can tell from your facial expressions.
Because I need him to tell us, hey,
what are you doing?
I'm playing the train, not the train. I'm playing the, what's his name? The Tony train.
The Tony train.
Because he's crazy and blah, 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 blah. But he's just like, no, he's just, yeah, man, I just love being out here in Survivor.
Right, which is why you can kind of say,
floaters, grab your life vests.
Floaters, grab your life vests. Kristen.
So, yeah, so basically that whole thing gets completely crazy. And what's it called? Cass is basically, at this point, just stirring the pot. Tony at this point is done.
Right.
And also at this point, this is also when Trish overhears the shenanigans as well and is not pleased.
Right.
So basically she's doing exactly, I mean, I don't know. Do you think that was a smart move? Or I don't think she really, the reason why I think she caused all this chaos in the first place is because she doesn't believe Tony.
Right.
So I think if she believed Tony, she'd be like, I'm already going to, you could have just gone to Final 3 with these people.
But let's think about it this way. Like, okay, so we have the 5, right? Who do you think Cass is best scenario to take to the Final 3 that she would actually win?
I think Cass would be Tony and Trish.
Exactly. So why is she ruining it?
Because I think she doesn't believe a lick of Tony.
But does she honestly believe that she's going to win against Spencer?
I think she might. She's an attorney, so there's some arrogance that comes with an attorney. Not to generalize all the attorneys out there. I've worked with some very wonderful ones. But do you know what I mean? It's like...
No, I get it. Like, I know...
And I also think, there's some sort of ego when you make it this long in a game, too. You're like, I'm effing good. Like, I'm running... They all sort of think in one way or another they're running this sort of game, or they're secure, and the money's mine. They all in their heads have put how they're going to win in their heads, and they're not really being that rational about it.
Right. Well, I feel like that at the jury, honestly, like, that jury looks... It doesn't look like a nasty jury. It looks like kind of like a kind jury. No one looks like they're angry. I mean, every time we see them, they always have like smiles on. I mean, Jeff is smiling. They're all smiling. So I feel like that they're just kind of going to be the go with the flow kind of jury.
I don't see any good speeches coming up either.
I really don't.
Who's going to break it down?
When Cass, I have a feeling if Cass ever gets to Final 3 and she has a speech, everyone will be like,
can we just talk about One World? Your tribal speech was amazing.
Oh, you're sweet.
That was amazing.
I swear, I wish I would have left on that season. I believe a tear
came down.
Yeah, well, because the thing it was so heartfelt, and I really didn't mean what I said. I was like, I forgive all of you guys, and I want to give the money to the best person.
Right, because you know what is amazing about the television or show like this is when there actually is a real moment, and it's not this big rehearsed thing. I'm sure you kind of went over a little bit what you're going to say, but when you're speaking and it comes from your heart, that just reads. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to a bitter person saying, just they're trying to get their shot on camera.
Yeah, like I remember the exact point when I said I was crying my eyes out, and I look at Chelsea because she's the one that got me out. She's the one that convinced Kim to take me out.
And you're going to visit her next week.
Oh, I know. I love you, girl. And I looked at her and I go, I want to sit there and I want that more than anything. And I'm sitting here crying my eyes out. And everybody who's watching knows how much I wanted to be there.
Right.
But I couldn't. But they took me out for every wrong reason.
Right.
So those are those moments that you love in Survivor, and those are those moments that you love in reality TV.
I mean, at the end of the day, there's one person that's going to win. So someone's dreams, a lot of people's dreams are going to come crashing.
Two-time crusher,
Yep.
this girl.
Have a cocktail.
Have a cocktail. Thank you.
So at this point, Tony, starts another final three with Wu, and again promises, and sort of Wu calls him out and says, "Did you really say this?" He said yes, but he is such a salesman. But even though Wu didn't really believe it, but Tony he doesn't stutter at all. Like he never gets like.
He's good.
Yeah,
he's just so
a great
good.
lier.
I know.
I would never want to get arrested by him. Like he would do something shady, and then in his report, we'd all be in trouble.
Honestly, it's so hard for me to hate him. It really is hard because I just feel like that he's always on top of his game, and like you can't shut him down unless he puts himself in that bad situation. He's always got the right thing to say, and that's what's bad with me. I know a lot of people are really great at saying the right things, and I was awful at it.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Well, before we get into the immunity challenge, we have to, of course, talk about our founder, Maria Menounos, and her show, Chasing Maria, which is on every Tuesday on the Oxygen Network. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah?
It's amazing. You have to see it. And the season finale is actually next Tuesday, 10:30 p.m. Check your local listings. But it is a really, really amazing show. Team Maria, even though it's not a competition.
Get it, girl.
It's amazing. Tune in, watch. And also at this point, we want to thank everyone who writes your comments and watches our Facebook posts. We reply to all your comments. And even the haters. We love the haters. Hashtag haters.
Love the haters.
We love you. All right. Immunity challenge. So the immunity challenge was actually kind of cool. It was like a huge sort of multi-level set.
Right.
Basically, at the beginning of the race, they had to untangle a bunch of braided ropes, unlock this sort of ladder thing, put it together, plank the staircase, 2 levels of staircase, and then do this slide puzzle, which I don't know if I've ever done.
I loved watching you write all this stuff down. I was like, are you kidding?
I gotta be organized for these people at home watching. I mean, Jesus, and you're giving me wine. What am I gonna do?
Sorry.
I know. Well, why don't you describe what we had for dinner tonight? She's like, let's have the LA diet tonight. What did we have?
Don't call me out. We had 2 hard-boiled eggs and wine and cheese. Right?
And 1 cracker.
And 1 cracker.
And that's our dinner, folks.
And that's our dinner.
Yep.
Thank you.
We're good to go. We might as well be on the island. So, Tony, of course, got a huge lead.
He was like
blowing
it out of the water.
Literally, like he was already like on the 2nd staircase, and they all were having trouble.
Jeff's like, you gotta dig.
Like he normally does. And they all basically were trying to put those planks on the actual staircase, and they were having a hard time with it. It just wasn't working because even those are a puzzle, which is. A lot. They all sort of look the same, but they all just a little different. They're all a little bit different.
Right.
So Tony gets all the way up to the 2nd level. He's working on that puzzle.
He's killing it right now.
And basically, I wrote down. What did he say? What did he say that he was doing? Basically, is he solving this puzzle or has he lost his mind? Because
that was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, because he's literally 100 miles an hour moving these puzzle pieces, trying to find the perfect combination. Did you have to do a puzzle like that out there?
I kind of stepped away from all the puzzles. I always made sure.
Are you not a puzzle? I feel like you're not a puzzle girl.
Well, that's the thing. You got to know where you belong in the tribe, and I'm a more endurance, and I'm strong, and I can run fast, I can swim hard. So I kept the puzzles in every single season to my smart.
You also are really good at killing animals. Why don't you tell that story?
I'm not going to talk about that story because it was so embarrassing that we didn't
tell that. Kat told me a story last night that they were starving and there was this pig in the camp. How big was this pig?
It was like 2 years ago on One World. It was a hog. It was like a 4-year-old child, and it was me, Sabrina.
But it was a hog. It wasn't a real child.
Yeah, no, it was in Samoa, so the pigs were like hogs. Like they were huge. And we all had machetes. We had an axe, and Chelsea had an axe. I had the machete, and we ran after this huge pig, and we had Troy and Tarzan that was right there as well. We had 2 grown men that still couldn't take down this pig, and we hit the machete at his face, and it bounces off, and we scream, and we run away. And then that entire rest of the day, Tarzan starts feeding the pig, the one that we were supposed to eat.
All your food.
All the food. All the coconuts.
And no one killed the pig.
And we just looked at Tarzan and looked at the pig, And we're like, you have to be kidding me.
You're starving to death, and this pig is eating up all your food.
I mean, it was retarded. The pig slept next to us. It was like family. It was so dumb.
I mean, it's completely out of control.
Out of control.
The best friendships start with a machete to the face.
I know. What do you think about that? Would you be able to kill a pig, a huge pig? I think I'd have a problem with that.
It was too big. And we didn't have enough fire, so there'd been blood everywhere. And all
it would be a smelly,
we would have had flies
disgusting.
on us. It was 34 days in the game. Like we only had 4 days, 5 days. How many? 9, 5.
You guys wouldn't have had anything to cook all that meat with.
No, absolutely not.
It takes a long time to cook.
Like you have no idea. We went after it like banshees, just like cats, like banshees, and went after it. But then we realized it was just gonna be our bestie because we can't eat it. So we snuggled with it.
There you go. At the end of the day, the pig is still alive, running around there doing just fine.
Just doing great.
So when we see the slide puzzle, we see like one of the most amazing comebacks ever. Spencer was way, way behind, and he literally had to win.
Did you see that? Like how? Well, I mean, we were like almost off the couch.
Right.
And I know that everyone's so
he's
pro
a puzzle
Spencer.
guy for sure.
Yeah, and look, he's on the smart team. And I know that everyone's so Spencer, and I am too, just because of that.
Right.
If Spencer did not do what he did tonight in every single episode, no one really would care for the young blonde.
And the reason why people like him so much, again, is because he has to win or he's going home.
Exactly. And that, you know what that reminds me of? I don't want to bring like crossovers, but that reminds me of Rachel Riley.
Of course.
Reminds me of Rachel Riley when she had to win to stay in the game or she was going home.
And it was every week.
And people love it and hate it, but they love it more. They're like,
because
like,
the fans are like, yes, he's going home. No, he's not.
He's not. And then they say, I can't not give him credit because he's freaking killing it.
Right.
So
I would say when they showed him doing the puzzle too, it was like he wasn't even moving pieces. He literally just did the whole thing in his mind. I swear he just moved like 3 things and it was done.
Right, it was done.
Right. I mean, editing, whatever. Who knows how long it was, but he got it quick.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, and that's why we appreciate people like Spencer. That's what I said in the beginning of the show. I said everybody in this game right now at Final Five has a role that they are playing.
Right.
And they're executing it. Like, serious. Lamb and llama.
Lamb.
The golden boy. We have the beast, which is Tony, and we have so many people that are playing the right role.
Your pig, everything.
I know, they came in too.
So Spencer wins immunity, and amazing. He had to win, like we said. Afterwards, Trish, as soon as they get back to the beach, they don't even waste a second. Trish is starts bringing people up on charges.
Right at her.
And I mean, she just ate all that pizza, and
full belly.
Right,
Still got something to say.
Cass didn't even win immunity. There's really no point. But she had it, and it just.
Because it just, imagine, you have something bottled up inside of you for, 25 minutes, because that's how long it usually takes to get from the challenges back to your camp, and you can't say a word, and all you want to do is just curse out the person in front of you for 25 minutes, holding it shut, and then, right when they say go, boom. And that's exactly how she felt.
It's on, because it's building up the entire time. And she's probably walking right in front of her like, I'm going to kill this woman.
Right. And it's the same thing when you blow a challenge. You're like, all I want to do is tell everybody I'm sorry, and you're holding it in, and then you wait till you get to do it. And it's the same thing.
Right, you're carrying your torch crying the whole time.
Right. I do that all the time. It's like, someone feel bad for me.
You do that when we walk in and out of the club.
Shut
Jesus
up,
Christ.
Ryan. Hey.
So basically, Wu is not really comfortable with their plan that they have.
No, he's not comfy anymore.
Yeah, so he is.
Come snuggle, Wu.
Yeah, he's like, I'm off this train right here.
Yep.
And so basically, everyone's sort of scrambling. There's not any sort of solid alliance or anything like that. And it's Wu is basically said, let's get rid of Trish, because they sort of feel that Tony's untouchable.
And that was it took you however many long days in the game to make a move like that, but that would be going against Tony, which is your alliance, and he actually said it. Thank you, Wu. We appreciate it. And he said it. He goes, I got to get rid of Trish. And that's the best move for me.
But had they just listened to Spencer or Cass
in the first place
a while ago, saying that did I just lose my mic?
I think
Hi,
I lost
everybody.
mine.
I'm back on the air.
Thanks,
What are you
guys.
doing in there? Watching movies?
No,
He's checking his phone.
I was getting some static, so I was trying to fix your mic.
It's probably her phone that's by the thing, because you're an
Where?
unprepared host.
Oh, sorry.
Or it's probably me.
No, my phone is all the way over here.
Okay, I don't need you to bring me up on charges.
Just checking.
So, what was I saying?
You're talking about being a bad host?
No, I'm amazing. No,
you're talking about Wu.
That basically, no, I was talking about that they listened to everyone else, that Tony was a huge threat in this game and no one was listening to him.
Right.
So whatever. I'm glad Wu was finally awake with a few minutes left in the game.
I feel like I can still miss 1 or 2 episodes, 3 episodes in this entire season, and it's I don't get lost because everybody bounces to a different side every week. I swear I thought Cass was with
It's
Tony
not
and Tony
every
was
week.
with Cass.
In this episode, it's
every 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's like it switches and switches and switches. Like the final three alliance fell apart by the time they walked over to the camp.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing. You know, that's what makes this season so exciting, because I remember in One World that when we merged, we wrote in the sand exactly how everybody was going home from day like 20 to day 39. Like we knew exactly everyone. That's what kind of made it kind of predictable and boring. But this season is just so exhilarating because we have no idea like who's on what side. And then unless you have Chaos Cass who blows everyone up to bits.
Your whole season, everyone sort of stuck to plan. Yeah, which it kind of was a boring season.
Yeah, but like, I mean, realistically, I was comfortable because if I went to the final three with Kim and Alicia, I had a chance. Maybe everyone hated Kim and maybe everyone hated Alicia, so I'd be fine. Right. So at that time, I was okay, but it still could have been a little bit more hectic if we wanted it to. Right.
Someone should have got a little bit crazy. Well, if you would have killed that pig, it would have been way more hectic.
Maybe.
So this is, Tony, like you said, going right back to his roots of the spy shack. He's in the bushes listening.
Did you see that?
I mean,
good job, Tony.
I mean, it's hard to tell in the cameras. He literally could have just been hiding just to see them way down the beach, because I don't know if he actually heard, but I mean, it's just it's hysterical.
But then
he's built like 2 spy shacks, one by the watering hole, one by the camp. And he's not joking.
No, not at all. And then even when let's say he didn't hear anything. Let's say he didn't hear anything that Wu was saying. He would go up to Wu and give the interpretation that he heard everything.
Well, that's exactly what he did. Remember, 2 seconds later, they walked on the beach. He's like, so what's going on? Why are you with them?
He could be completely clueless.
Right.
And he still says, like, oh, I heard everything.
You can relate to this. It's so easy to read people. And Wu just seems like this sort of like, I don't want to say he's like insecure, but he's like a quiet, passive guy. And if you get this aggro guy in his face, he knows if I push him, he's going to either tell me the truth or by his answers, I'm going to be able to tell if he's lying to me.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, same thing with me. You could read everything on my face as well.
Yeah.
Bad poker players, Wu. Bad poker players.
Yeah, you ain't going to win a dime. So Tribal Council, Cass and Trish going right at it. And basically, Psycho Bitch, I think, was trending tonight on Twitter.
Psycho Bitch was trending. And I don't like to curse at all, but I hashtagged that too just because I could not believe.
You don't curse?
Not on Twitter. I think it's just not appropriate.
Oh, you just do in real life?
Yeah, like in real life.
Well, they're
not
tweeting. They're the ones saying it.
I know, but I couldn't believe they didn't bleep it out. I was like, whoa.
You can say bitch on TV.
Can you?
Yeah.
Is that MTV thing? They do that?
No, I don't. I think bitch is fine everywhere.
Oh, okay.
It's a new word we must come to love and accept.
Well, I still think it's a little bit much, but I thought it was appropriate for what the scenery was because they're about to go off.
Right. And, they're basically just going back and forth, but they're sort of, you mentioned this too, but they're all smiling at each other. Having a good old time.
I mean, I've never seen this man so happy in my life. When he sees chaos in every moment of the show.
He's the producer of the show.
I know. He's just like, this
hello,
is
ratings.
Amazing. And I mean, and as a viewer, I loved it. I loved every moment of it.
Do you think by Cass coming across that aggressive without any sort of like heartfelt moments, like she's like destroying herself to the jury at those times? Because you almost have to think the second you're on that stage, you're being judged from everything that you do. And so you either can go after the guys that everybody hates or go after Trish that, like, I don't know anyone.
I promise you, I will call it right now. Trish will not win Survivor. Absolutely not. Like, I've been on twice. And
Trish?
You will not.
Do you mean
no,
Cass?
Trish, I mean Cass. Cass will not win the $1 million at all. From every single aspect, every time she's been in tribal council, she has dug herself in a deeper hole. The jury doesn't care for her. Like, they really don't, because she, like, that ignorance that she pulls, but I know she's being a lawyer, but like when she says things and how she treats people like she's making them feel lower than dirt, like you can't do that when you're trying to win over their votes. And then after the end, do you want to get to that part yet when she flicked her off?
Yeah, we can go to that too.
Yeah, so like when Cass flicks her off, did you see the jury? They're like,
yeah, they weren't.
I mean, the facial expressions were priceless.
Right, and she's not seeing that, and there really isn't no reason.
There's no reason for it. Her back is turned. It's like hitting a chick when her back is turned.
It goes to show you that, again, these are people, and these are their real reactions.
And those are their real feelings.
She hates her. That is what it is.
And the game is real, and you should all know that.
But when this is an opinion person's game, where a person who votes on you, people vote for a lot of reasons. Right. People vote, even political competitions, they sometimes vote for the best looking people. They vote for the best vibe. There's a number, that's not an actual formula, but voters vote for a lot of different things, and it's the exact same thing for this. And so you almost have to think the entire time you're being judged. If you sent someone home who was like a complete asshole and the entire jury hates them, then maybe do something like that. But like, You know, Trish practically needs a walker to get off the stage.
No, yeah, like there's no way. I honestly think there's no way for her to come back from that.
Well, I guess we'll see. But in addition, you know, Tony at this point pulls out both of his idols. The first time he shows the special idol.
And he was also speaking llama.
Speaking llama,
speaking a
telling
few different
the lies,
languages,
telling the lies,
acting an absolute fool. Dude, like Tony, like, I love you, dude, but you need to tone it down. Like, I get it that you feel safe, but bro, I saw you crying in next week's episode, so clearly you're not safe. So
we see
why don't
some
you
tears.
Chill out, dude. Pull those crying tears. You know you got them because I use them all the time on all my seasons. And like, but he's got to pull it back at Tribal Council. You have to.
Right.
Everyone's judging you. That's judgment. There's no judgment-free zone. It's not Planet Fitness, dude.
Right. So, no judgment. Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness is a judgment-free zone.
They have amazing commercials, but I hate Planet Fitness.
Judgment-free zone. It's not a judgment-free zone. People are judging.
I'm judging.
Pull it back.
Pull it back.
Pull it back.
Well, you know, as we said, you know, Trish is gone. You know,
Bye, Trish.
Bye, Trish. She's funny when she did her interview. I think she said
What's
she's
up,
starving.
M&Ms? What's
She
up, chocolate
she's like,
M&Ms?
do I have to do this interview? Someone feed me.
Someone give me food.
Oh my gosh. So I don't even know. So a crazy episode, a big episode, a little predictable in the end, but we have an amazing finale coming up next week.
Sure do.
I'm
And
so excited.
we will be there.
We will be there at the
We are
finale.
so pumped.
We are so excited.
I'm so excited.
What are your predictions? Who's winning?
And now, your
I
AfterBuzz
really,
TV.
if I had to pick one or the other, it would definitely be Tony, Spencer, or Cass.
Okay, we've already established that.
You can't
I want
put
a
me on
name.
you can't put me on the wire.
This
like
show, you have to tell
Do-
me who's winning.
Do not put me
now.
on. No.
Yes.
No, because I
Someone's
can,
knocking at the door. I need your vote.
I cannot choose between Tony or Spencer right now. I
Write
just can't.
it down on this piece of
I just
paper,
can't.
and it's on the jury.
But what if someone sees it?
It doesn't matter. There's your opinion.
All right.
Jesus. I'm not asking you to
Okay.
pick someone who's going to die.
This is going to be really hard, guys. This is
a game.
really, really hard.
All right, Cass has the pad and her pen, and she is about to write. And it looks like it's going to be Spencer.
Spencer.
You heard it here first.
Spencer. I think that, if he does make it to the end, because he has a
I
tendency
don't
to
need
keep
that
winning.
back. The show's over.
Fine.
Go ahead.
I think that he will do fantastic. And I think that he's really young and people really appreciate how young he is and how good he did in the game.
I want Spencer to win, but I almost think that Tony's going to win.
Tony is going to win, but you asked me who I wanted to win. So I think Tony will win.
But I don't know.
I think it's going to be great.
I just don't know how many real fans are on the jury. Like, I'm looking at
For
that
Tony?
line, and just people who are fans of the show in general and would really appreciate gameplay and how much gameplay they really even see.
I mean, I'm telling you, I feel like the jury is absolutely clueless. Like, they're just kind of like, oh wow, this is great. I can't believe I was here. This is an awesome experience. I'm so happy to be here.
I can't wait to go get my cocktail back at the bar.
Right, like pageant queening
they're
this
pageant
thing. And
queens back there.
I was like, you guys don't have a effing opinion. Give us an opinion.
Right.
So if they had an opinion, they would choose Tony. If they don't, they'll just take the golden boy, which is Spencer. So, it is what it is.
The golden boy. All right, well, where can people find you to find out more about you on Twitter, on Instagram?
Well, you can find more about me at Kat Edorsson on Twitter and Instagram. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you back.
Will you follow them back?
I actually will. If you follow me in the next 10 minutes, I'll follow you all back.
The next 10 minutes, there you go. And you can find me at Ryan A. Carrillo on Snapchat, Instagram, as well as Twitter.
I have Snapchat too.
I love Snapchat.
Really? We're not friends. Are we friends?
I don't know. We're barely friends in real life.
You never, excuse me, I'm sleeping on your couch.
I don't even know who you are.
I don't even know you.
We love you all.
Love
and
you guys.
we will be back.
I just followed you, Kat.
Oh my God, thanks.
She sends naughty pictures.
No, hey.
Snapchat.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.